Today on the podcast, we're going to be looking at how to approach people to sell anything. But of course, selling anything, that's a little bit too broad. So we're going to use real estate as a case study. And the reason why is because on the radio show, I think maybe this was about 2 months back, I was receiving lots of calls from people in real estate. And so that's when I dealt with the topic last. And so I was going through my papers and I just realized that, oh, okay, this was a cool one. So maybe I should come over here and then share it on the podcast. Oh, and by the way, I'm making today's recording at home and today's a Tuesday. So for those of you who are regular listeners, you know that the house gets cleaned on Tuesday. So the cleaning lady is here and, she didn't have anyone to take care of her kids. So she brought her kids. So there's noise in the house. So just expect, the usual kind of interruptions when you have someone cleaning and kids running all over the place. So if you like these sorts of things, how do you grow your business? How do you talk to customers? How do you find customers? How do you carry on conversation? How do you close the deal? Or perhaps you're a real estate person and you're trying to thrive and grow in your career, then this podcast is for you. Make sure you subscribe on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple, or any player of your choice. Now, if you'd love to connect with me because you have questions, you have comments, you have queries, or you want us to experiment with some collaborations, I'm down. My name is Tavishima Ayede. I'm the host of the podcast, and you can call me on 08064662140. So, to the meat of the question now, how do you approach people to sell absolutely anything? And remember, we're going to use real estate as a case study, but however, whatever business it is that you do, just remove real estate and put it there. You will see that these principles, these tactics, these strategies are transferable and they work across different disciplines. So the fact that I'm using real estate as a case study today does not mean if you're in fashion, don't listen. Listen. It's just that when you hear real estate, remove real estate and then slot in fashion. It doesn't mean this won't apply to law or medicine. It will apply. Whenever you hear me say real estate, just remove law and then put medicine. Remove real estate and then put medicine or put law. In fact, lawyers and doctors have legitimate complaints when it comes to these sorts of things because, at least back when I was in school anyway, because my first degree was in law, if you're a legal practitioner, you could not, and I think it's still the case because I haven't seen any changes, you could not market your business the same way that other people do. So legal practitioners and also medical practitioners are not allowed to advertise. That's why you don't see billboards saying, come here, this is the best dentist. That's why you don't see dentists running Instagram ads. That's the reason why you don't see lawyers running advertisements on TikTok. It's because they're not allowed to. So sometimes people in those professions, medicine, dentistry, legal, let's see, what else? Accountants. I don't think accountants can advertise. I'm not sure anyway. But if you're an accountant listening, let me know. So accountants, lawyers, doctors, sometimes they complain that, they can't advertise. But anyway, the things that we're going to talk about today apply to everybody. So feel free as a lawyer, as a doctor, and as an accountant, trying to apply any of the things that we talk about today, and you are not going to run foul of any ethical restrictions or any professional restrictions that have been put upon you. So, how to sell to strangers. Remember, using real estate as a case study. Now, the reason why we're doing that, like I said, was because real estate agents, they were calling in on the show, and they were talking about how it's difficult to sell, but they were all making one fundamental mistake, which is you run up to somebody in traffic, you see somebody at the mall, you see somebody in church, you see somebody in the market, you see somebody wherever. But because you sell real estate and you know that real estate is the best thing in the world, you approach just anybody and then you start trying to have a conversation. And then you're trying to sell them on the spot. And then you're worrying why people are running away from you. You wonder why people are evading you. You wonder why people say, I'm not interested. Even though they've not even heard what it is that you want to say. You're just approaching them with the flyer, and then they begin to wave you off. Or some people collect the flyer and say, I'm busy. And in your mind, you're thinking, clearly I can see you're not busy. You're just chilling in the mall, and you're alone. Busy doing what? So, The first thing that I had to tell to my real estate audience over on the radio show is this. The first step to selling to strangers is to recognize that very fact that you are a stranger. Acknowledge it. You're a stranger. I don't know you. You just roll up on me and you want to sell me property development in Guzape. Like, how? You want to sell me the best investment opportunity in Lekki? Like, from where? I don't know you. You are a stranger. So for all of us, real estate professionals, lawyers, doctor, accountant, whatever, acknowledge the fact that you are a stranger and have the right expectations. Now, knowing that you're a stranger, the next thing that follows is you got to be brief, short, straight to the point. You're a stranger. I don't know you. I'm not comfortable with people being all up in my space. It's not just me. It's anybody. Nobody is comfortable with a stranger just rolling up and feeling as if they can monopolize your time. Tie you down for 5 minutes, tie you down for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Because of what? Because of who? How? You're a stranger. So, excuse me. So that's the first thing. Realize that you're a stranger. Keep it brief. Now, when I say brief, I mean go straight to the point of why you are there. And in getting straight to the point, the first thing you're trying to do is to confirm if somebody is interested in what it is that you have. So that if this person is interested, okay, you can either yarn some more or book a meeting and discuss later. And if the person is not interested, you can save yourself some time by moving on to talk to somebody else who might be interested. So I repeat, you're a stranger. Be brief, get straight to the point, and confirm if this person is interested in the first place. If they're interested, it's a matter of, can we continue talking? Or can I get your phone number? Let me call you sometime later. Or, oh, your office is at so and so. I'll be in the neighborhood on Wednesday morning. Can I drop in at 10:30? So first thing, be brief. Go straight to the point. Try and confirm whether they are interested or not. And you do that by using problem-based openers or question-based openers. Basically, that means you don't just roll up on somebody because you're selling real estate and tell the person, I have the greatest investment opportunity in Lekki since, 1996 or whatever. No, that's not how you start. Open with a question. Open with a problem-based opener. Ask the person, have you thought of buying land as a way of investing? And then hear what the person has to say. By the way, the reason why I think that's a good question is because, I'm not a real estate professional, but I assume that people who buy real estate, who buy land, or who want to build a house are doing it for two main reasons. Number one, they either want to invest, as in you want to drop 5M somewhere, and then maybe later on sell the land or sell the house, and then you sell it for 35. And then you now put 30K in your pocket as profit. Land as investment. Or people want to buy it because of home ownership. They're tired of being landlord. Or, you just want to have something so that you will bequeath it as a legacy. When, the time comes and you're no more, you give it to the children. So those are the two main reasons. Investment or home ownership. So as a real estate professional, when you approach somebody, instead of saying, I have the best this, I have the cheapest this, I have the newest this, because that's what some of you do. You approach somebody saying that you have the greatest plot of land that just became available in Maitama and something, it would be a great investment opportunity. No, don't come and start with all that. Ask the person first. You're a stranger. Be brief. Get straight to the point. Confirm if they're interested. Have you thought of buying land as an investment? There's some people who say, no, thank you, not interested. And then at that stage you say, all right, no wahala, I appreciate you'll be busy. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you don't mind. Can I leave a flyer with you? If they collect your flyer, very good. They collected your flyer, leave. You're done. Hopefully, they might reconsider and call you back. But quite frankly, at this stage, you're done. They've said, I'm not interested. If they say, no thanks, I don't need your flyer, don't stay there and try to persuade them. You just say thank you, enjoy the rest of your day, and you're done. They are not interested. Move. Don't bother trying to convert the uninterested. You're done. Just leave. You're a stranger. Some other people will say, land as an investment opportunity. You now know that, okay, this person, you can talk some more. The concept sounds foreign to them. You can now explain what the thing is. But of course, you still try to figure out, are they interested? Would they love to learn some more? Is this something that they want to consider? We're trying to confirm if they're interested. We are strangers. Come, be brief, straight to the point. Are they interested? You can ask questions around whether they have thought of owning, being a homeowner in Abuja before, or being a homeowner in Lekki before. Some people will say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. When they say that, you're done. Okay, ma, thank you very much for your time. I hope you don't mind. Can I leave a flyer with you? Okay, thank you very much, ma. Enjoy the rest of your day. You're done. Move on. There are other people in the mall. If it's a networking session, there are other people in this networking session. If it's church, there are 2,000 other people in the church hall that you can talk to. But either way, you're done. There's no point in spending 20, 30 minutes with this woman, trying to talk her into something she's not interested. She doesn't even want to, quite frankly, she'd rather be at home eating bread and egg. You're wasting 30 minutes. Meanwhile, there are 2,000 other people in church that you can walk up to, and you might find one or two people who are interested and make some meaningful contacts so that on Monday, Tuesday, during the week, you can call them to try and schedule a meeting. If somebody says they're not interested, you're done. Drop your flyer, wish them a nice day, and leave. Some people will ask questions. Home ownership, is that even possible in today's economy? That kind of person, continue the conversation. Maybe the person is thinking home ownership in this Tinubu economy can only work if you have 300 million to buy yourself a house. Maybe in your real estate firm, you guys have a package where somebody can drop 3 million today to, I don't know, maybe 3 million as a deposit, and then be paying, I don't know, 500K or 1M, every other two months until you finish, whatever it is. But if you say, have you thought of becoming a homeowner in Lagos today? And the person replies, in today's economy, you can continue the conversation. So that is step one. How you sell to strangers. Realize you're a stranger. Nobody knows you from Adam or Eve. So be brief, be straight to the point, confirm if they are interested. Use a question or a problem-based opener. Respect people when they say no. Don't push it. If they say no, the best you can do is leave a flyer, wish them a nice day, and then go. Like my sister said, when I was sitting down on the floor as a teenager, I was crying because the girl broke my heart. Tears, they come out from my face, muco running down my nose. I was crying. I was thinking I'm finished. My dear sister rubbed my back. She said, Tawishima, why are you crying? She said, there are many fishes in the water. And then that's how my tears stopped. I said, it's true. And then I washed my face. And then I put on my correct bath. And then I went out into the world because there are many fishes in the water. And today, I'm a happily married man with children. So it's the same thing. If somebody says no, move on. There are many fishes in the water. Words of wisdom from my younger sister. Always remember it. It will take you through the tough times in business and in relationships. Many fishes in the water. All right, where was I? Then, another thing you should remember for those of you who sell real estate, that what you do is a complex sale. So you need to have the right kind of expectations. Because there are so many people who sell complex products or services and who think they can sell it with a simple mentality. Now, if you're selling something very, very simple, groundnut, egusi, whatever, banana, that's a simple sale. You can roll up on somebody, even though you're a stranger, monopolize the person's time, and maybe get one or two sales. It's possible. As a groundnut seller, you can walk up to somebody and say, Daddy, buy groundnut. And the person will say, no, thank you, not interested. You say, what about the children? You won't buy groundnut for the children. And then people laugh, some small, some small talk. And then, 2 minutes later, you've been able to sell 2,000 naira worth of groundnut. It can happen. That's a simple sales scenario. But a whole lot of you, real estate people, lawyers, doctors, accountants, architects, whatever, You guys are in a complex sale, rolling up on strangers, have the right expectation. It can happen, no, but chances are, it's not going to happen. Now, what is a complex sale? A complex sale is when you're dealing with something that is expensive, as in your thing, as in the thing, it costs. There's no architect that you will engage now for 50K. It's not possible. After all those years in school, after the master's degree, you go and pay architect 50K. It's not possible. Architecture is expensive. You're not going to be able to get a total stranger to commit to you and pay your millions in fees on the spot because you're a total stranger. It's the first time you guys are meeting. People don't just drop money like that. It's expensive. Same thing with real estate. Houses are expensive. Land is expensive. You're in a complex sales scenario. Then, in complex sales scenarios, there's some complexity to the product or the service itself. Complexity just means the thing has many moving parts or many things that you have to consider before you make a decision. So for architecture, there's a lot to consider. This architect, what is his expertise? What is his experience? What kind of building do you need? Modern, hypermodern, classical, avant-garde, village cottage, as in there's a lot to consider. Are you going to build out of wood? Are you going to build out of granite? Are you going to build out of cement? Are you going to build out of concrete? There are lots of things to consider. It's the same thing with real estate. There are lots of moving parts. There are lots of things to consider. Where is the location? What is the price? Is it close to amenities? What does my wife think? What do the children think? What stage are we at? There are lots of things to consider when it comes to real estate. It's a complex sales scenario. Then, for complex sales scenarios, relationships. Complex sales scenarios are not closed without some kind relationships going on. Nobody's going to drop millions for the architect or drop millions for the lawyer or drop millions for the real estate agent until you have sussed out this person. You have an idea of who am I dealing with. Is this real estate professional a human being? Is he a person? Do they have integrity? Are they shifty? Is he a 419 person? What's going on here? Some form of relationship is important when it comes to complex sales scenarios. Now, if you're selling banana and biscuit or groundnut, nobody needs a relationship. Somebody shows up to me and say, "Okay, will you buy groundnut?" It's a straightforward something. It's just groundnut. I don't need to know the hawker. I will say yes or I'll say no. If I say no, she'll say, "I want you to buy from the children." Then my children will shout inside the car, "Yes, dad, yes, please, groundnut." I say, "Oh yeah, how much?" And then we price. I collect 2 or 3 bottles and then we go. Relationship not needed. But if I have to buy a house, on the other hand, it's a different thing. My children can't just say, "Dad, I love the house. Dad, I love the house." And I say, "Okay, how much?" Or let me wire 500M. No, it's not like that. By the way, I don't have 500M, by the way. So if any of you, so if any of you listening to this podcast right now, you feel blessed by what I'm saying and you want to bless me with 500M, I give my phone number at the beginning and at the end of every episode. Call me. I say, "Guy, we appreciate your podcast. Give me your account number. Let me wire you some money." And then just send 500 million to my account. I'll pray for you. My wife will pray for you. And the blessings will come and catch you. All right, where was I? So, my children can't just say, "Dad, I like the house. Dad, I like the house." Then I now just buy. No, it's not like that. Relationships are involved when it comes to complex sales. And too many of you are trying to bypass it. Unfortunately, you just can't. Nobody's going to do business with a lawyer that they don't like. Okay, well, not as if they have to like you. But if they detest you, as they won't do business with you. Then there's a matter of sales cycle. Sales cycle just means how long does it take traditionally for somebody to say, "Good morning, sir," until the deal closes. For complex sales scenarios and for complex products or services, sales cycles are typically long. Now, for simple sales scenarios like groundnut, banana, egusi, school bag, shoe, butter, back to school shoes for children. For simple sales scenarios like that, the sales cycle lasts minutes. You can walk into a shop and then, "Good morning, sir, good morning, ma." And then 20 minutes later, you walk out of there with 4 pair of shoes for your children because school is resuming. Simple sale. Somebody can greet you on the road, good morning, sir, because they are selling banana. 2 minutes later, you have bought 3,000 naira worth of bananas. You're on the way. Simple sale. The sales cycle is short, minutes. Well, maybe sometimes days. But for complex sales scenarios, the sales cycles, weeks, months, sometimes years. So acknowledge that very fact. This is real estate. People don't buy real estate in a day or in a week or in 2 weeks. Nobody inspects the house today and then pays for the house 2 weeks later. Does not happen. Complex sales scenarios take time. Acknowledge that. So because of these factors, the price, the complexity that is involved, the need for relationships, and traditionally long sales cycles, know that nobody is making a decision today. And if you know that nobody is making a decision today, why are you rolling up to a total stranger and then spending 45 minutes with that person because you think you can make them to get a decision, make a decision today? Why? You can't close on this deal today, so stop trying. Stop trying when you're dealing with total strangers. Stop trying to close the deal today. You can't. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. It can be done. There are people who do it, one call closers, but that's that. Let me say that's an extreme sport. Let me say it's an extreme sport, and there's plenty of frustration that is involved. So I can't do that. I can't teach that. Even if I could, I wouldn't recommend for you to do that because it's not for everybody. So, what the rest of us do is we relax, we dial things down. We will close the deal in small steps, what we call advancements in sales. Advancements just means you get somebody to take one step after another after another. So remember, for real estate, so excuse me, you're a stranger. So be brief, go straight to the point, confirm that they are interested with some question-based openers. You have some small, simple conversations. For the person who is truly interested, the next step is, how about I call you tomorrow so we talk some more? Or would you like to come into the office so that we look at this, we look at that? Or can I come by your office so that we can discuss this, we can discuss that, step by step by step? So first, are they interested? Good. Secure a meeting. At the meeting, try and figure out all the things that are important to them. Then, the next one, another meeting where you now discuss options. That based on what we discussed, here are a couple of things that I think would fit your investment portfolio or that might make good ideas, to work towards your home ownership dream. Then, of course, after that, by the time you isolate, 2 or 3 that they're interested in, the next step will be, let's go for site visit. So you can see step by step by step by step. That's how you do it when you're dealing with strangers, especially if it's a complex sale. Nobody's making the decision today. And by the way, if you are that guy or you are that girl who has the skill, you know how to do it one close, one time. You meet somebody today, and then 2 hours later, you walk away with 50 million naira deposit. Please, I leave my phone number at the beginning and at the end of every single podcast episode. Call me and cut soap for me. Teach me this technique. Excuse me. So that me too, I can meet a stranger for the first time and then walk away with 500 million in my pocket. I beg, teach me. And as you teach me, to be honest, I won't come and teach you guys because I won't know that kind of secret and come and teach you. Why? So you'll be competing with me. I won't teach you, even if I knew. All right, so where was I? Yeah, it's a complex sale. Nobody's making a decision today. So you close the deal in small steps, advancements. Then, with that in mind, with what we've discussed now, how acknowledge that you're a stranger and then realize that you have to close the sales cycle. Sorry, you have to close this deal in small steps. Let us have a better thought process or a better mind map of how you're going to close this deal. Remember, we're talking about real estate now, but then, it applies to any other person, any other discipline at all. So, like I said, you meet a stranger. That's the first step. Go straight to the point. Second step is, are you interested? If they're interested, the next step is collect their phone number, collect their email, or collect their whatever, because you have to be in touch with them somehow. Then you also discuss the person's needs and discuss the person's vision. That's the next step. After you know what the needs are or what the vision is, what kind of investment opportunity are they looking for? What kind of land are they looking for? What kind of house are they looking for? What kind of home do they want to buy? What kind of home do they want to build? When you've discussed all those things, and then of course, their needs as well. The next step is try and gain clarity around their budget. You have to have that conversation quick before you start taking people to the field. Let me repeat, real estate agents, any Nigerian business person, you have these money conversations before you start showing somebody things in the field. If somebody can only afford 3 million, there's no point taking them into the field and showing them properties of 10 million, 15 million, when all they can afford is 3 million. So you figure this thing out first before you get to the proposal stage. Now, how you get clarity around the needs and the budget is by asking a few simple questions. So, okay, Chief, Ogwefi, Madam, Alhaji, okay, I think I understand perfectly. We're looking for these kinds of houses in this kind of locality, close to this kind of amenity, and, blah, 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 blah. So, sir, Madam, for the opportunities that we've discussed, we have some inventory, but they fall at a price tag or they require an investment of anything between 12 million to 57 million. Is that an investment that you are willing to make? You ask them. If your inventory is between 12 million to 57 million, ask them. If the person was thinking 5M, this is the stage where the person will say 12. That's your cheapest. You say, yes, sir. You can't go any lower. I say, sir, you know that no be my own now. I'm working for Onalga, and we're also serving other clients. The cheapest that this person will take is 12. The person says, 5 cash is what I have. Then clearly, you know that this conversation is not going anywhere. Or maybe this is the point where you refer this guy to somebody else who has inventory that matches his own budget, and then maybe you collect your commission, you collect your 10%. But either way, by having the money conversation upfront, the budget conversation upfront, and we do this by discussing a range, a price range. You don't tell the person 36M. You give them a range between this amount and that amount. But we need clarity around not just their needs, but clarity around the budget. So you tell them, from what we've discussed, it could be anything between 20M and 85M. Where do you fall along that scale? Is this more than what you are willing to invest? How does that sound to you? Whichever way of asking the question to get feedback, ask the question, give them a range. So that's another step. After that, you now book a meeting so that you guys can start discussing specific inventory. If the person says, 15 to 85, that 85 is kind of on the high side, but are you guys open to negotiation? Say, of course, sir, now. Everything is open. In Nigeria now, we negotiate anything. Say, okay, all right, no problem. When somebody talks like that, you see that there's room. So, another meeting where you guys can start discussing specific inventory. That, okay, sir, based on what we discussed last time, you get one place in Guzape, there's another place in Maitama, there's another place in Asokoro, or there's another place in Gwagulada. The problem is just that Gwagulada is out of town, so that one is like 1 hour, 30 minutes. So, sir, based on all the things that I'm saying now, which of them would you like to see? So that's the agenda for the next meeting. So same thing for those of you in Lagos. Anything between 40 to 250M, the person says, are you absolutely sure you can't go below 40? You say, sir, honestly, below 40 will be a stretch. But the person says, anyway, let's see what you have available for things around that 40 mark. Now, you know that, okay, you can set up a meeting to start discussing specific inventory. Then, After that meeting, the next step is you plan your site visit. Sir, when would you be available? I'm free next week, Wednesday. I think we should go and see that one in Guagualada first because it's out of town. Then on the way back, we will now see Guzape, Metama, Asokoro, blah, blah, blah. How does that sound? So when are you free, sir? Okay, Wednesday doesn't work. Oh, you're traveling. Okay, we'll be back on Saturday. Okay, no problem. I can make Saturday work. Morning or evening, because afternoon is tight for me. Okay, evening time. All right. So, sir, if I come by the house like 3:30, is that okay? Narrow it down. Get a commitment. Plan your site visit. Then, I'm assuming, remember, I'm not a real estate professional. I'm assuming that after that, after you go and visit like 5 or 6 properties, you take some time over the phone the next 2 or 3 days to discuss, to narrow it down to 2 or 3 options. Maybe after that, you now schedule an office visit or a house visit where people will try and narrow down on 1 or 2 properties where the guy can make a bid. That's how you now try and do a trial close. So, I'm not a real estate professional. So this is me just freestyling, crafting things off my head. But the point that I'm trying to pass across is this is a better thought process. This is a better mind map to have when you are trying to sell to a total stranger rather than thinking you can roll up on somebody and then close the deal immediately and sell expensive stuff in a complex sales scenario. So, if I said something that makes sense, please go and apply. Please do. But you will see that in principle, this works for everybody in a complex sales scenario, whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, an architect, a wedding photographer, or whatever. So this is how you sell to strangers. And I hope I've been able to bless somebody with small wisdom that they can use to move their business forward. So that's it, and that's all for today. It's been 30 minutes, so let me just bring it to a close. So thank you very much for listening. Remember, if you'd love to call, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message. You can do so at on 08064662140. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you all some other time.